Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. It's time for All-Jo Madden over here on Picks and Parlays. I want to thank you guys all for joining us on this beautiful Thursday morning. It's a great day to be a sports fan. We've got primetime football, the Minnesota Vikings taking on the LA Chargers. We also have a ton of games out there in the NBA, college football, as well as out there on the ice. So I've got a loaded show today, you guys. We're going to start off with Jesse Scholes. Then we're going to see Dre Rich popping into the show. And then Dan Kaiser will be joining us. So we've got three top guests, top handicappers here from picksandparlays.net joining us today. And if you're looking for their best bets, make sure you do go over to picksandparlays.net to be able to grab those. There will be tomorrow the $7 Friday from all participating handicappers where you can grab their best bets just for that $7 price for those bets. And then on the weekend, and these are already up and loaded, so you can jump into these right away. It is the Weekend Warrior. This weekend, get every football play from your Picks and Parlays handicapper of choice for a Saturday and Sunday just for that $49. As a bonus, they're going to throw in those Monday plays as well. So we got a great show to go over. Dan Kaiser is also going to be talking some MLB with us, looking at the series as a whole. Yes, the World Series, my Toronto Blue Jays were able to find a way to get that win over the Seattle Mariners in Game 7. That was so intense out there, you guys. Vladdy's made me a believer, and this is a team that I didn't think would be able to get here with what we thought out of them. I am so impressed, and I'm looking for a series between the Dodgers and the Jays to be that high-scoring explosiveness out there with Ohtani on one team, Vladdy on the other. I think we're going to get some fireworks. So we're going to jump into all of that today. We do have some trends that we can go over in the NFL, but I want to start this off. I want to get Jesse Scholes in here. He's been just crushing it here on those free picks for Thursday football. So I want to make sure that we get him in right away. So you guys get those questions, get those comments in the live chat. If you are watching on X, come on over to YouTube so you can interact with us. And if you guys are over here on YouTube, do me a solid, hit that like button. We want this show running 5 days a week, and to make it possible for this show to run 5 days a week, you got to help us out here on the show. Hit that like, comment below what you're liking out there as well. Just get those algorithms up for us to get those more viewers. So let's bring Jesse into the show. We're going to look at some Thursday night football. Jesse, happy Thursday. How's it going so far?
It's going pretty good. Looking forward to tonight's game, that's for sure.
I'm so excited. It's going to be a great game out here. You know I'm a Chargers fan. I am concerned with what you're going to say tonight because you've been dominating the books on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, we've done pretty well, particularly last week. We were on the Bengals and a bunch of player props, and it worked out quite well last week. It's been working out for, I don't know, seems like all season long, but I don't have a lot of positives to say about the LA Chargers at the moment. I like this Charger team. I'm a Justin Herbert fan. I don't mind Harbaugh, but they're banged up. I'm looking at the line 3.5, and I'm thinking, who's betting into this line, laying 3.5 after watching them get run over by the Colts? And as I was talking about with you before the show started, it's Thursday night. It's not next Sunday. It's not like this is a whole week after what happened. This is only a few days later. The injuries have really been bothering the Chargers. And I just think this is kind of a terrible matchup for them. I mean, their offensive line is still banged up. You got two key starters on the offensive line that are listed as questionable that didn't play last week. And as I mentioned, when they're listed as questionable, they've been practicing. You think, well, they could come back. Then maybe they do play. I can't say for sure, but the fact that it's a Thursday and not a Sunday means that if you do hold them out this game as well, then you've got 10 days moving forward for them to get fully healthy. So rushing them back could be a mistake here if they're not 100%, and clearly they're not because they're still listed as questionable. So I'm concerned about whether or not those two guys play, whether or not they're going to be 100% if they do play. And it's not just the starters. There's backups on the offensive line injured. The defense hasn't played that well. The running back room just completely decimated. They got no running backs left. I was talking to Joe before the show and saying, they must have signed a bunch of guys from practice squads for $5,000 a week or something, because you can't go into. They've only got one healthy running back on the depth chart, and you can't come into tonight's game with just one healthy running back. You're going to need a couple more guys in case somebody gets hurt. It doesn't bode well against a Vikings team that is very strong against the pass, has a very good pass rush. Justin Herbert's thrown 5 picks in his last 4 games. Could be a recipe for disaster. If they can't run the ball, they have to pass it, and Minnesota's pass rush gets to tee off on Herbert. So I like Minnesota plus the points. I think Herbert's going to throw a pick, and I like Jordan Mason on the anytime touchdown. And regarding the Herbert interception, Minnesota only has 2 interceptions this season. They rank near the bottom of the league. But guess what? This team led the NFL in interceptions last year with 24. Do you think maybe they're due? Because I do.
Ooh, that's a big statement. Are they due, Jesse? Yeah, they might be due. You look how strong that defense was able to do. Now, their secondaries had those issues as of late, but if Justin Herbert is going for Quentin Johnston down the field, we know he has the ability of being picked off. Sometimes he's run those wrong routes, if I can say that, and we've had those mistakes out there. So I would look for whoever's covering him tonight to be able to pick it off.
Yeah, and another issue for the Chargers is they're allowing 5.1 yards per carry to opposing running backs. Jordan Mason, he's been pretty good this year. And the Vikings running back depth is a little bit questionable as well. But at least Jordan Mason's a true RB1, right? And the guy they got going for the Chargers, like what, an RB3 or an RB4? Yeah. 6th round draft pick. So advantage goes to Minnesota again. I can't see laying the 3.5 with the Chargers in this spot.
Okay, guys. So Jesse Schill's popping on the show for the last time here on a Thursday, rolling with the Minnesota Vikings. You can find him at picksandparlays.net from here on out. No, just joking, Jesse. I value your opinion so much, and I completely understand why you're going against the Chargers in this situation. It is hard to lay 3.5 with the team, especially with all of those points you pointed out. You look at them last week versus the Indianapolis Colts. It was disgusting. Justin Herbert threw for 420 yards in that game, and they still weren't able to get a win. Like, it was mind-blowing. This team came out so strong to start. Everyone talking about how they're going to take the AFC West. Look at them now. What, they're 3rd in the AFC West? Denver's at the top, then KC, then the Chargers. That's in my mental mind. That's where I'm seeing it lay out. I would be shocked if the Chargers finish in the top 2. What about you?
Unless they get all the guys back. But, I mean, the running backs aren't coming back. I think the running back issue is something that's not going to solve itself. The offensive line, yeah, I mean, they don't really have a shot. It's not a knock on the coaching staff or the quarterback. If you don't have a healthy offensive line in this league, you're not going to be successful. That's just the bottom line.
Absolutely. So you guys, Jesse has been red hot here on a Thursday. His best bets in tonight's Thursday night football matchup are the Minnesota Vikings plus the 3.5. Jordan Mason, anytime tutty. Gotta love those anytime tutty prices at plus 120. And my Justin Herbert, and I say my Justin Herbert because he really is my quarterback out there to throw that interception. We know he can do it. It's plus 100. Jesse, if you're taking the Vikings plus the 3.5, are we sprinkling on that money line?
I don't think so. It's not going to be significant enough. What's it going to be? Plus 140, plus 150. Exactly. I'm just going to take the points.
Yeah, I hear you. When you're not getting enough value, it's just not worth it. Live betting opportunity, though, if that line does go higher, if the Chargers score first, that's where I would be looking if you're riding the Vikings plus the 3.5. But Jesse, what do you got for sale over on picksandparlays.net for us?
I don't have my plays for today loaded. Still thinking about that, but we're going to have a full card of college football and NFL this weekend. Hitting 80% with my college the last 2 weeks and 67% with NFL since the beginning of last year's playoffs.
You are absolutely crushing it out there. So you guys head on over to picksandparlays.net to grab all of those best bets for Jesse. He'll be part of that weekend package as well, the Weekend Warrior. Jesse, I joke, we'll see you back here next Thursday. I love having you here on a Thursday, even when you bet against my Chargers. And if people don't know, not a real homer. If I bet more against my Chargers than I bet for them. So I agree with you, Jesse, that it's probably a prime opportunity to take the Vikings in this situation. So all the best in all your bets. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Thank you. You guys, Jesse Schill's coming over from picksandparlays.net. Make sure you head on over to the site to grab his best plays for this weekend. He's going to have them loaded up here shortly. That weekend warrior package you definitely want to jump in on. Now, I'm going to have Dre Rich joining the show as well as Dan Kaiser. We do have running right now the poll over on X versus the books, you guys. And this is something you want to get in on. Get your votes out there, what you're liking tonight in Thursday Night Football. If you're with Jesse, if you're against my Chargers, if you're going to grab the 3.5 with the Minnesota Vikings, or look at them on the money line. If you're taking the Chargers, lay in the 3.5, or if you're looking at this total, over or under. So we got that poll running. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to bring Dre Rich in here, and then we'll bring Dan Kaiser. Now, Dan Kaiser is coming with a ton of info, you guys. So is Dre Rich. We're going to be talking games across the slate, just not tonight's Thursday Night Football game. So make sure you stay tuned. Drop in the live chat what you're liking, any questions you have for these guys, and make sure below this video, if you're watching on repeat, you let us know who you like tonight. That anytime tutty, who you've got. But let's bring Dre Rich into the show. Let's start talking this Thursday Night Football game with him. Dre, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. The NBA is back. I love the NBA. I'm so all about basketball, and I'm glad to talk about it on your show.
Well, we got to kick it off with the NBA. The NBA season kicking off on Tuesday. We're now a couple days into it, and I know there's a game that you're liking out here. We've got the the Nuggets versus the Warriors. What are you liking in this one?
I'm all about the Nuggets money line in this game. They're actually plus money, which is kind of weird to me because the Nuggets were a better team the last 3 seasons. The Warriors have more run under their legs because they played on Tuesday against the Lakers and they beat the Lakers 119-109. Yeah, that's good to have that first game under your belt, but the Nuggets are just a team out of their league. In size and defense, it both favors the Nuggets in this matchup. It's just a weird stylistic matchup, and the Nuggets are going to be able to do a lot better than they did last year because they had a lot of injuries, and the roster looks semi-different than it was last season. They have more scoring ability on the bench now with the addition of Cam Johnson from the Nets. He's a more reliable shooter than Michael Porter Jr. was last year for the Nuggets. So I think this is going to be a much more complicated matchup than it would be for the Warriors. And Nikola Jokic, I like him to have over 8.5 assists in this game. Like I said, this is going to be a high-scoring game. I don't see this being a very low-scoring matchup. And Nikola Jokic is more of a passer on the road than he is at home. At home, he's more of a scorer. So I can definitely see him getting 10 assists in this game. 8.5 is a steal of a number for me. And Steph Curry, over 23.5 points. He did not play his best ball in this first game against the Lakers, but I think at home he's going to have more opportunities to shoot the ball. And the Nuggets don't really play that good defense against the three-point shot. And they're a lot bigger team. So I don't see Steph Curry trying to drive the ball into the hoop, or a lot of shots will be made from outside of the perimeter.
Okay, so Dre, it is the first time talking NBA with you here on All-Jo Madden, and you're rolling straight in with the dog on the money line. The Denver Nuggets are plus 112 on the money line today versus the Golden State Warriors. You guys, the Warriors are a minus 130 favorite. So Dre, I'm going to be rooting for you to get that plus money with the Denver Nuggets. This total 234.5. With you coming in with those player props, you said it should be a higher scoring game. Would you look at a full game total here, or would you be isolating the Denver Nuggets team total if someone wants to play a total in this one?
I do think it'll be a high scoring game, but 230 is too high if you're on my side with the Nuggets. The Nuggets are going to win this game. They're going to be able to contain the scoring ability of the Warriors. So if you do side with me on this, I would take the under.
Okay, the under 234.5 coming in at minus 1 minus 112 for the under. It should be a great game out there, Dre. I love that you're rolling in with the dogs straight away. It's a loaded slate out there in the NBA, you guys. Let us know what you're liking. Let us know if you have any questions as we move on. Talk some Thursday night football here with Dre. Okay, Dre, you heard Jesse rolling in here. He's like in the Minnesota Vikings state, breaking my heart. Like, he just doesn't want to be on All-Jo Madden every Thursday. I don't know what's happening, but this is going to be an interesting matchup. Both of these secondaries have looked absolutely atrocious as of late. What are you going to roll with Thursday night football?
Hey, you said it first, Joe. These are bad defenses so far in the season. Not what we expected in the beginning of the season. I thought the Chargers would be a lot more electric on defense and possibly be the reason why they win a bunch of games, but that has not been the case. Also, this is a stylistic matchup that I do not like for your Chargers. The Vikings receivers against zone coverage, they're going to eat them up because they find space in the field very easily. So they're going to, if the Chargers can't play man coverage on Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, it's going to be a really tough game to keep them from getting up the field. On the other side, though, in favor of your Chargers, the Vikings are not good against, the Chargers are not good against the run. So the Vikings have possibly Aaron Jones coming back tonight. Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason should have, the Chargers are not good against the run, but the Vikings are good against the run. So Justin Herbert should have enough time to get these passing off, but they won't be short dink and dunks. They're going to be up the field, large chunk plays that the Vikings give up. The Vikings are number one in the league against receptions to the receiver, but they are allowing more yards than most teams because they're getting penalties in the backfield. They are allowing large chunks, like I said, and there's a lot of receivers that the Chargers have to be able to combat this Vikings defense that likes to blitz a lot. So them blitzing is going to open up the field for the tight end, Gadsden, who's been showing up very well for the Chargers. And I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I have to go with the over 44.5. I'm not as confident as Jesse is on a side in this one. I do lean the Vikings because it's Thursday night football, and the dogs do bark on Thursday nights. I just cannot confidently take a side, but the over 44.5 seems a little low.
I absolutely agree with you. It's a hard one to take a side in this matchup, especially with what we've seen out of these two teams as of late, but I'm with you. This 44.5 looks way too low. We've got two gunslingers on either side of the ball with that strong run defense that you talked about with the Minnesota Vikings. So the Chargers have a chance to get the win and cover that spread. Justin Herbert is going to have to throw that ball nice and deep. And you're right. Justin Jefferson has to be that target out there for Carson Wentz. I know the Chargers will look to cover him, but the Chargers won't be able to cover Justin Jefferson. His speed out there is so strong. It's unbelievable what he's able to do on the field. Definitely one of my favorite players to watch. Loved watching him last year. Love watching him this year. Hate watching him tonight. I'm going to hate watching him tonight. I know it. I'm going to be cursing him here, Dre, for sure.
Yeah, he will have openings in the middle of the field. It's going to be weird.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I think for my sake, I'm going to just take him for the anytime touchdown. At least I can cheer on making some money out there with Justin Jefferson because we know how strong he's going to be. But you've come at us with NBA. You've come at us with Thursday night football. We're going to have Dan Kaiser in just a minute, you guys. But first, Dre, you've got some college football for us. California versus Virginia Tech. Where are you going with this one?
Yeah, on Friday night, they're not the best games to watch. But I do like this California at Virginia Tech game. They're both in the same conference. The reverse records, Virginia Tech are 2-5 and California are 5-2. But Virginia Tech is favored, which is, I don't understand that, but I will take California plus 5.5 in this game. But Virginia Tech are 1-3 at home. Cal are 2-1 on the road. Cal's defense is much better than Virginia Tech, and they have played tougher offenses. And the offenses for these teams are even. But I trust California's QB more and his consistency passing the ball. I've been practicing this name all morning. Jaron Kuve Sagapotele. He's going to be the difference maker in this game because the passing is how you beat this Virginia Tech team, and I can see him throwing over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Like I said, both these teams need to win. They're both in the race still because this is a tight division, almost a tight conference. But Virginia Tech does not give me any hope to covering the spread.
You pulled that off. You absolutely nailed his name there. It would be JKS for me. There is no way that is I'm able to pronounce that. So fantastic job of that. But I like where you're going with a Friday night college football, you guys. California plus the 5.5. Would you feel comfortable sprinkling on the money line live betting situation, maybe, or pregame?
I would definitely like to bet on the California Bears to win after halftime. I want to see how the first half plays out because Virginia Tech is going to definitely defend their home field the best they can. They have had tough matchups against Vanderbilt and other teams at home that they have been competitive against. So I do want to see if Cal can continue their road production. But yes, after the first half, if it's still good money, I would definitely take the money line on California.
I love it. Okay, Dre, what have you got for sale for us over on picksandparlays.net?
As always, I'm posting picks every day. Now we have NBA slates, which has over 5 to 8 games per night. So you're going to get a lot more picks from me. Hopefully you're not sick of getting my bets because I got a lot more to come just because of basketball, and college basketball is on the way too. So yes, please be watching and willing to check out those bets on the site. I have prop bets as well that go with those bets. So you're getting more bang for your buck.
Okay, and there's also this promotion running right now, you guys. Sorry about the graphic isn't the big graphic. I got the wrong one up here, but for the rest of 2025, you can get all of your handicapper of choices picks for just $8.30 a day. That's an amazing deal, Dre. So head on over to get Dre's bets in that. But Dre, all the best in your bets today. Absolutely crush the books. We'll see you back here next Thursday.
Thank you for having me. I'll be back.
Thank you, Dre. Appreciate your time today. You guys, that was Dre Rich. Head on over to picksandparlays.net to grab his best bets for today and for this weekend. Like he said, the NBA is back, and he's already rolling today with the Nuggets with that great plus money versus the Golden State Warriors. You're getting the Denver Nuggets at plus 112. You guys, he does have those props out for Steph Curry and Jokic, so make sure you check out all of his plays in the NBA, his best bets again on picksandparlays.net. But we're going to bring Dan Kaiser in just a second. I just wanted to have a look at this X versus the books, where you guys are going. Wow, no love for the under today. Everyone rolling with the over. It looks like the books against X definitely need this game to go under the 44.5. Got 25% of the love coming in on the over 44.5. We got the Minnesota Vikings plus the 3.5 getting 41% of the love, and my Chargers only getting 33.3% of the love, laying the 3.5. I'm gonna bring Dan Kaiser in, see if he's a friend of All-Jo Madden this morning, or if he's rolling with Jesse and the lean for Dre on the Minnesota Vikings plus the points. It'll be interesting to see. But if you guys want to jump in on this poll, we're going to review it after Dan comes in here. I want to hear what you guys are liking tonight, so make sure you get those votes in. Go on over to Joe Madden Sports on X and do vote there. But we're going to bring in Dan Kaiser now to the show. So just move a couple things around. Dan, good morning. Happy Thursday.
Yeah, I'm glad I found a place. I was a little lost earlier.
Yeah, it was. Sorry about getting you that link a little bit late and everything, but
it was my fault. I just assumed it was. I just assumed it was the other one. So you know what happens when you assume. So
that is true. Yeah, I should have got you that link earlier. You guys, Dan is coming in today on Thursday. He's also going to be back on Friday. So you guys, Dan has had a lot of success here on the show. We're going to be talking some MLB. We're going to look at the series. Let's jump into that first. I see your Detroit Tigers jersey
Yeah.
on there. Sorry about your Tigers. That was a hard one, not seeing them be able to get through. I thought they would have a little bit more success than they did. But this World Series, it's going to go off with a bang. We have the LA Dodgers versus the Toronto Blue Jays. I got some, money line series odds out there. The spread laying the 1.5. Dan, but you're going to break this down for us. What are you liking in the series as a whole?
Yeah. Today I'm just gonna look at the series, and if you tune in tomorrow, then I'll give you a play for the game. But yeah, the Dodgers easy. They've had an easy, basically playoffs coming off the sweep of the Brewers. They've had a week's rest now by the time this game starts, and it's kind of what we talked about last week. Is going to be rust versus rest, and then you got the Blue Jays coming in. They won in 7 games. And with this Blue Jays team, I mean, it was strange for them. They lost the first 2 games at home, couldn't hit, started hitting in Seattle. And then, had to take the last 2 at home. So I think it's going to be an interesting series early. I don't think it's going to be much of a series, to be honest. So I'm just going to write down the different positions and how this breaks down. I think you start out the catcher position. I have to give the advantage here to the Dodgers. Kirk had a good postseason so far with 5 extra base hits, but Will Smith is coming around to his old form. He went 6 for 15, 2 walks, 3 runs in the LCS. So I think right now the Dodgers have a little bit edge there at catcher. First base, as good as Freddie Freeman is, he's not played all that well so far in the playoffs. He struck out 11 times so far, and so far this has been Guerrero's postseason. 6 home runs, the 3rd best OPS of any player in history of the playoffs with 40 plate appearances. He's only struck out 3 times. So I bet he's going to need to hit. They need to get him going in this playoffs. Continue to hit, especially without Bouchette. So, the Blue Jays advantage at first base. Second base, I think it's kind of a little bit of a toss-up here, but I'll give the advantage to the Blue Jays. Shortstop, Mookie Betts, done. That's it. That's all you have to say. Advantage Dodgers. Third base again. It's kind of because of the Bichette's injury, the Blue Jays are kind of shuffling around their infield a little bit. So third base, I'm just going to call it a toss up here. The outfield leans more Dodgers. I think the key to this series is going to be pitching. Starting pitching for Toronto's been decent, but the problem I have with Bieber and Scherzer are Bieber's coming off an injury, did pitch most of the year. Scherzer's pushing 40, getting old. Yasevich has only got 4 or 6 starts. So I'm not sure how long this Toronto pitching staff, the starters, are going to go in each game. And then you look at the Dodgers pitching staff. What can you say? They're starters are 7-1, 1.40 ERA, 81 strikeouts. They're on pace to be the lowest single postseason ERA of all time. They were 0.52 ERA in their last 5 games. They're 9-0 in the postseason when the starter goes at least 5 innings. The Stars have 8 games of at least 8 strikeouts, and the bullpens. The thing about the bullpens, that's the weak point of both teams. I have to give the advantage to the Dodgers bullpen because I just don't think you're going to see them. That's the only advantage I have is you won't see them. This Dodgers starting pitching staff has shown they're just too strong. I think you're going to see the Toronto pitching staff or bullpen more than you'd want to. I think there's going to be a short series. Toronto's best chances to win the first game. LA's bats have been resting, and I think that's the only chance they're going to get in this one. So I think I'm looking at the Dodgers in 4 or 5, depending if you think the Dodgers are going to come out rusty in the first game.
Dodgers. Would you lay the run line on the series and line the 1.5 here on the series, Dan?
Yeah, because I think the most you're going to see, and I think it'd be very lucky for Toronto to get 2 wins against this Dodgers pitching staff, and then the Dodgers, the Toronto's bats, they went silent in a couple of games against Seattle, and I think this Dodgers team can make them go silent more than a couple games in this series. So yeah, I think as much as excitement as we had in the playoffs with the Toronto Seattle going 7 and Detroit Seattle going 5 and Brewers Cubs going 5 and the good series we had with Phil and the Dodgers, I think this is going to be anticlimactic. To be honest, it's going to be. Go.
Well, especially with what you've seen out of Ohtani, that last game, Ohtani pitching, hitting those home runs, it was mind-blowing what he was able to do out there. Now, there are a couple of things, you can look at. If you're looking at the Dodgers here, what are your thoughts on Ohtani? And not to put you on the spot, but Ohtani to hit 4 home runs in any single game, if he's able to do that kind of magic in the series here, you're going to make incredible plus money. There's so many different ways to target Ohtani, so many different bets the books are trying to entice you to bet. Would you think Ohtani can be that difference maker here? Or do you think for the Dodgers, it's going to be a well-rounded team? We know there's hot bats up and down that lineup.
Well, I think he could be. I think he can be a difference maker. One on the mound, but 4 home runs in one game?
Yeah.
No. I mean, no, because he might only get 4 at bats. So you're expecting him to hit 1 every at bat. And if I'm the other team, if he's got 3, I'm not pitching to him.
No, I don't think they should ever pitch to Ohtani. I wouldn't. I'd walk him every single time. Right?
Yeah.
That is
the very box treatment.
Yeah, the books want you to bet that. That's plus 25,000 for Ohtani to hit 4+ home runs in any single game. They've got some other fun props like Ohtani to record 8+ strikeouts plus 1 stolen base in any game. That's right around that plus 900. Ohtani to record 8+ strikeouts and 1 stolen base at overall. I guess that's for the whole series because the other one's any game. For the whole series, 8+ strikeouts and 1 stolen base. Weird. I wonder if that is in one game for the strikeouts or not. That's plus 270. It's an interesting one. You'd have to look into it.
I would think, even if it's for the series, I think he's only going to pitch 1 game. So you're going to have to. True. He's going to have to get that 1 shot. I don't think he's going to be. He's going to pitch the 3rd or 4th game? I don't think it's going to go 6 or 7. I think you'd have to get it done in 1 game. So yeah, you can look at that one. How much was the 4 home runs in 1 game?
25,000 plus 25,000.
That's worth at least $1 or $2. I just
put a couple bucks on it, right? Canadian toonie, maybe not American money. Canadian toonie. Put the $2 on it, you guys.
Yeah. It's not worth anything else in your pocket.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah. I wouldn't put like a unit on it or anything, but I'd throw a couple on there just for fun.
Yeah. Okay, let's move into some hockey. The ice has been hot as of late. We only had 3 games out there on the ice yesterday, and I was just off on a couple of those games. I did get the Sabres to be able to get that nice win. But the Devils on the second night of a back-to-back pulled it off versus the Minnesota Wild. We saw Calgary stumble again, Montreal getting the win. But it was a tighter game, defensive game. I thought Montreal would be able to get up yesterday. We have Montreal taking out Edmonton today, but I know you're looking at the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Colorado Avalanche. 2 really solid teams here. Dan, what are you going to look at for this one?
Yeah, this one just caught my eye because of the kind of 2 of the better teams or best teams right now in the NHL. Carolina comes in at 5-1. Colorado's 5-2. Carolina started off the season with 5 straight wins. They lost to Vegas 4-1 in their last time out. The goalie Fred Anderson has been solid. He's 3-1-0, 246 goals against, an .894 save percentage. But he did allow 3 goals to Vegas the last time out. Colorado had the 3-game winning streak snapped. 4-3 overtime loss to Utah. I was on Colorado in that game, unfortunately. Wedgwood's been excellent in net. He's 1.84 goals against with a .92 save percentage. Being a longtime Avalanche fan, I like this. I like how Wedgwood is playing, but again, they didn't go out and get a goaltender in the offseason. That's been their problem for the last, I don't know, forever since Patty Patty was between the pipes. So I don't know long term how well he's going to do. But the Hurricanes right now, they have injury problems along the blue line. This is their 5th straight game away from home, and they're playing in Denver, which doesn't help. But with the altitude, so it doesn't help if they are tired. You got the Avalanche are one of the best offenses in the league right here. I'm looking at the total in this one, and usually when you're looking at the total, you want teams that are good on with a man advantage. But both these teams have been surprisingly poor. Carolina's 2 for 21 with the extra man. Colorado's only 3 for 26. But I think with this, the injuries to the back end of Carolina, the Avalanche are going to be able to exploit that. Again, Wedgwood's been playing great. We'll just see how long that can last. But the Avs have scored 3 or more goals in 5 straight. The Canes have accounted for at least 4 goals in 5 straight. I'm taking out the Vegas game. So I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think it's going to be up and down the ice. And I just think this Colorado offense is going to probably score 3 or 4, 5 goals themselves. So I'm going to take the over in that one.
Okay, so the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Colorado Avalanche. Dan rolling with the over 5.5. That's coming in at -134. You guys, that is a great bet. We know both of these offenses, the Carolina Hurricanes, have been electric out there on the ice, and the Avs have all the playmakers out there, Dan. Love where you're going there. We got to talk some Thursday night football. The Minnesota Vikings taking on the LA Chargers. This spread has moved from that number of 3 to a 3.5. That total now 44.5. Still question marks on if Joe Alt will be out there on the blind side for Justin Herbert. That is huge for this team. My fingers are crossed that he's coming back. I'm not sure if you've seen any injury reports since the show kicked off, but what are you going to bet in this one?
Yeah, it's easy coming on after Jesse and the other guy because they covered everything stats-wise. This just makes it easy. So looking at this game, I agree I like the over in this one. I think, as you guys have stated before, both defenses are bad. The secondaries are terrible. Herbert's been throwing a lot of deep balls now to Allen and Gadsden. So I think he's going to have to keep doing that. I think Harbaugh's smart enough. He's going to come up with some quick passes, some quick slants to get the ball out of Herbert's hands against this defense, especially if Alt's not playing. I know you like Jefferson. I think Addison is going to be probably the big guy in this game, especially deep against the secondary. I just think I think this total is a little low. I think that's going to go over the total. And on the side, I'm going to split the baby in this one because it's Minnesota. I think I kind of lean with Jesse. I think Minnesota will cover, or I'll take the 3.5, but I'll be rooting for the Chargers to win by a field goal because Minnesota's in the NFC North with the Lions, so got to keep them down a peg. So that way we can both be happy. Chargers win by 3, or Chargers win, Minnesota covers.
I like where you're going there, Dan. You're invited back every Thursday and Friday, coming in with the Chargers to be able to at least get the win here. I do think they have the opportunity. If Joe Alt gets back in this lineup, I do think Justin Herbert will have that extra time. We know the biggest problem here for the LA Chargers has been that offensive line, those injuries out there. If that blitz, and Justin Herbert is strong against the blitz, but if that blitz keeps breaking through that offensive line and Justin Herbert isn't able to scramble out of danger, we're going to see a game where the Chargers absolutely get destroyed. If they can do what I'm expecting, we can see a game where they can get the win. So it's going to be an interesting one here, Dan. I just want to let everyone know that for the rest of 2025, you can get all of Dan's plays as well as Jesse's, Dre's, everyone over on picksandparlays.net for just $8.30 a day. You're going to buy the rest of October 23rd if you buy it today all the way to December 31st for just at $8.30 a day. So make sure you head on over to picksandparlays.net for that. We also have that Weekend Warrior up and running this weekend for only $49. You'll be able to get Saturday and Sunday's football plays from Dan. He's going to throw in those Monday plays as well at no extra cost. And all the handicappers here on Picks and Parlays are part of that. But Dan, what else have you got? What can people expect when they come on over and buy your packages?
Yeah, right now I just have a play post in the NHL tonight. I take it easy on the basketball the first week or so, and I'll probably have a game up tonight or play up tonight on the Thursday night football game. Big weekend, college football, NFL, NHL. Like I said, probably a play here or there on the NBA, and just a preview for tomorrow. If you're tuning in today to see a rant on the Michigan State game, I'm saving it for tomorrow, and I can tell you it's going to be interesting.
Well, I'm a Buckeyes fan, so I hope you're really ranting against Michigan. Don't need Michigan to get up another level. So Dan can't wait for that rant tomorrow. You guys make sure you do join us tomorrow. We are live here Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And if you want to see us 5 days a week, you got to do us that solid. Hit that like button and comment below with what you're liking. Seeing the comments come in here, I just want to mention this one, north of 50, Jermaine thinking on that total. So it should be a good game. I would be surprised if both of these teams didn't hit close to 50.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're going to see, I can see a 27, 24, 30, 27 type of game in this one for sure.
It should be a fun one. But Dan, you got so much going on. I appreciate your time today. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Crush the books tonight.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. You guys, that was Dan Kaiser. Head on over to picksandparlays.net to get his best bets. He will be posting here shortly his best bet for Thursday night football. You don't want to miss out on that. So much going on. He came at us with college football for Friday, some NHL for today, taking the over between the Canes and the Avs. That's a 5.5, you guys. I don't know if that one stays under a 6.5. If you want to alt that and look for some plus money, looking at how those offenses are able to do. But we're going to go over all the handicappers' best bets. We'll do a recap at the end of the show. I have to have my say in what I'm liking out there. Now, when we look at this series with the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, I think this series can go a couple more than people expect. I do think the Toronto Blue Jays are going to stay competitive in this one. I think it's a deep series. I think this one goes to 6. And I think Toronto has every ability, a fighting chance. I think we're going to have some higher scoring games. I'm going to be rolling individual games over taking the series as a whole. So we're going to break down those individual games. First kicking off tomorrow night is the first game. I'll have my bets for you tomorrow in this one, but we're going to jump into what I'm liking on Thursday night football. And then this is a great point. The Vikings have only been ahead once at halftime. The Chargers are a team where if they get a lead and a big lead, you guys, you want to come back in on the Vikings if you're getting them like plus 7.5, plus 8.5, plus 9.5, because we know the Chargers. It's not safe. The win's not safe till that final buzzer goes. So it is always terrifying when the Chargers are up at half. But Jermaine making that great point that the Minnesota Vikings normally start off slow. So if you're looking at the Chargers in the first half, I don't blame you there. I'm looking at my Chargers as a whole, you guys. Now you can call it a homer bet all you want, but there's not many times that I do roll with my LA Chargers. I'm normally against them. There's so many times that I've sat here against my Chargers. I took them. I took the Miami Dolphins plus the points against my Chargers. Chargers won, didn't cover. But in this situation here versus the Minnesota Vikings, I do think this is the right time to rely on the LA Chargers to get the win at home. I hate that the line has moved to from 3 to 3.5. That gives me a little bit of concern, but I do think the Chargers, if they win this, they've got to win it by more than a field goal. Justin Herbert hopefully will have Joe on his blind side. If Justin Herbert has Joe on his blind side, I do think you could alt this and lay 6.5, and I think they win it by a touchdown. If Joel isn't out there, I'm still laying the 3.5. So I'm going to go with my best bets. The Chargers laying the 3.5 at minus 102. I think they can get it done here. The secondary of the Minnesota Vikings isn't great, and we know Justin Herbert has that arm that can move the ball down the field. Now, when we look at this total, I'm with everyone on this show that 44.5 just looks way too low. I'm expecting this to be like, well, if it's a 27-20 game, that doesn't push us. Well, that pushes us over the total at 47. It doesn't hit us at 50, but I could see it being that 27-20 or it being that 27-23. So 23 is an odd number to get to, but I do think we could see that kind of score. So the Chargers laying the 3.5 is where I'm going to go. I'm going to take the over 44.5. And then I got to look at these props out here. The secondaries are a mess for both of these teams, and I don't see on a short week the improvement coming. The Minnesota Vikings are going to blitz Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert under the blitz has been strong. He's one of the stronger quarterbacks against the blitz. Now, we saw Jalen Hurts last week in week 7 versus the Vikings defense throw for 326 yards. Justin Herbert has a number of 255.5. Even in the loss last week to the Indianapolis Colts, we saw Justin Herbert throw for 300 or 420 yards in that game. For him to go over the 255.5, I think is a gift in this game. Yes, Justin Herbert is going to have to scramble with that blitz. If you want to look at his rushing props, I do not blame you. But the key to success here for the LA Chargers to get the win will be them throwing that ball and throwing that ball nice and deep. Carson Wentz on the other side, he's going to have to answer back. 230.5 is an easy number against his secondary here of the LA Chargers. Again, the LA Chargers secondary is a mess. Now, when we look at who's going to get in the end zone, my anytime tutty props, you guys, I love some freaking plus money. There's no D in this game. I'm not talking about any defensive props today. You guys know I bring that all about the D, but I can't do it. I don't trust either of these defenses. When we look at those touchdowns, though, it's Justin Jefferson. Carson Wentz to connect with Jefferson out there, plus 120 for the anytime tutty. I think that is easy money at plus 120. Quentin Johnston, hold on to the freaking ball. Quentin Johnston to get in the end zone at plus 155. Yes, Keenan Allen looks and gets the most targets from Justin Herbert, but Quentin Johnston is that deep threat that Justin Herbert is going to have to get that ball down to. As long as he can hold on to it, he has every ability to get in the red zone. Now, he came back in the end zone. He came back last week, only got 2 targets in that game, back from injury, but I'm expecting in this one for him to get at least 2, maybe 3, 1 being in the end zone. And then Justin Herbert for the anytime tutty. Don't hate on me for this one, you guys, but at plus 550, I do think it's worth a shot. With the blitz that the Minnesota Vikings bring here, Justin Herbert will be put in those scrambling situations where he's going to have to use his legs to try to get it to someone down the field. He's not going to want to run it far, but he's going to have those situations where he's going to be scrambling, looking for someone. If he's scrambling and looking for someone in the red zone, I think he has the ability to get it out short, off to the side, and get that anytime tutty in. So at plus 550, give me Justin Herbert for the anytime touchdown. One more time, my best bets on Thursday Night Football. The Chargers, laying the 3.5. I'm going there. I'm doing it. You guys know I don't bet my Chargers very often. It's money over love, you guys, but I do think the Chargers will make us money tonight. I got the over 44.5. I got Carson Wentz over 230.5 passing yards. Justin Herbert over 255.5 passing yards. Justin Jefferson for the touchdown at plus 120. Quentin Johnston for the touchdown at plus 155. And Justin Herbert to run one in with his legs at plus 550. Whew. There's a lot. That's where I'm going on Thursday Night Football. You're going to go with Keenan Allen, and I don't blame you. I like Keenan Allen. His ability, I just think the Vikings are going to know he's going to be that prime target out there. He scored the last 2 versus the Vikings. Keenan Allen is the man out there in a higher scoring game. Jermaine, I would take Keenan Allen as well. He's plus 155, just like Quentin Johnston. They got the same odds out there for that anytime tutty. Vikings. Oh, yeah, we read that one already. So I'm with you. I think Keenan Allen is a great look here. I got Quentin Johnston as well. Let me know below this video, you guys, who you're liking for those anytime touchdowns. Just to go over a couple of things, I do have a trend here for you for Jordan Addison. Dan mentioned Jordan Addison. He scored a touchdown in 4 of his last 6 regular season road games. So Jordan Addison for the anytime touchdown coming in at plus 220. That is your trend out there for the day for this game. Something to note moving into Sunday's games, I want to give you some trends here while we have a couple of minutes before we end the show. So looking at Sunday Fun Day, the action out there, because tomorrow's going to be a packed show. We have Dan Kaiser coming back. We have Anton. We have Steve. We've got 3 guests tomorrow. We're going to be talking a lot of stuff. So it's going to be a loaded one. So let me get these trends off to you now. The Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. We know this one is about Jordan Love versus Aaron Rodgers. And people can say what they want. I know that in the media, Aaron Rodgers says he loves Jordan Love, but that have to be a hard one. And it's got to be a hard one to see Jordan Love having that success and him having those struggles, not being able to really get things done with the Jets. And we saw Aaron Rodgers about beating the Jets on that first game, how much it meant to him to beat everyone associated with the Jets. It's going to be interesting to see how he feels about taking on the Green Bay Packers. So we're going to see that. We're going to see that matchup. I think it's going to be an exciting one. But the Steelers have won each of their last 6 home games versus the Packers. So if you're rolling with the home dog, the Steelers are a plus 142 dog at home in that matchup. It's going to be a hard one for the Steelers, but you do have that trend in your pocket. The trend for the Miami Dolphins and the Atlanta Falcons is each of the Falcons' last 10 home games against AFC opponents has gone under that total. So that total sitting at 44.5. I like that trend, you guys. You look at Tua. Tua has not had that success moving the ball. Miami is going to struggle to score, and we know the Atlanta Falcons with Bijan Robinson are going to run that ball. I'm going to look for Bijan Robinson firing up his numbers there. The 49ers versus the Houston Texans. Your trend in this one leans you towards the 49ers. Plus the points. The Texans have failed to cover the spread in each of their last 11 games when playing with rest disadvantage. So the Texans on that shorter week have struggled to cover that spread after it. Your trend between the Dallas Cowboys and the Denver Broncos. The Broncos have won each of their last 7 games against the Cowboys. So the Broncos have dominated this matchup. Going to be interesting to see if they can stop this offense, though. And with Bo Nix not being able to be what we thought he would be this season, not getting those connections with Courtland Sutton that I had really hoped for. I expected this offense to be a little bit more explosive. It's going to be interesting to see if the Denver Broncos can keep that trend alive. Again, we're going over some trends here for Sunday football if you're just joining. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints, the trend is putting you on to the Buccaneers, straight up on the money line, with the Bucs winning their last 10 games against NFC opponents on a losing streak. So the Saints having those struggles. Spencer Rattler, it comes down to if you can trust the Saints to get a win here versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You'll have to look at that scheduling spot for the Bucs. Not sure who they have on deck the following week. So something always to look at when you're taking on an opponent like the Saints. You're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who is on deck? I would think the Bucs should be able to win this and win it big, covering that spread. The Chicago Bears and the Baltimore Ravens, the trends are putting you on the Ravens on the money line, with the Bears losing 8 of their last 9 road games against teams with a losing record. So with the Ravens coming in here with that losing record, you know this team wants to get back on track. We know those injury concerns. Lamar, the Chicago Bears playing better than I thought last week. They were able to get interception after interception after interception in that game. Looking fantastic out there on the field. So we'll see what the Chicago Bears are able to bring Sunday. That is a 1 p.m. Eastern matchup. And then a trend here for the Jets and the Bengals, pointing you towards the Bengals because the Jets have lost each of their last 11 games as an underdog. Who wants to throw away any more money on the New York Jets? Not me. I feel like every week I'm looking for that spot where the Jets can get the win. I don't know if they can get the win versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not putting my money on them. And the last trend for you guys that I have for today, we'll go over more of these trends tomorrow, but it would be pointing you towards the Patriots. The Browns have lost each of their last 11 road games. They've been struggling out there on the road. Looking at the Patriots, you're going to have to lay those points. The Patriots coming off a big game, though, versus the Tennessee Titans, where Mike Vrabel was able to go back to where he was a head coach before and be able to get the win and the cover. Now, that was a game that was stressful. to start. The Tennessee Titans came out strong. If you had the Patriots in your survivor like I did, you were panicked for the full first half of that game. The second half, they won at 31-13. So they ended up coming out on top. But I tell you, at one point, I was like, what the hell did I do taking the Patriots as my survivor pick last week? But you're going to see the Patriots in this one versus the Cleveland Browns. The Browns can bring that defense. So we'll see what happens. But those are the trends, you guys, for Sunday football. Lots to go over. Let's quickly do the recap here, seeing your bets here. You got Mason for the anytime tutty. I like where you're going with that one. Also, Chargers only allow more than one touchdown pass once, and that was versus Indy. Yeah, they're allowing those. They're limiting those touchdown passes to come in. Those running touchdowns have been coming. But let's do the recap, you guys. I appreciate each and every single one of you watching. I see so many of you guys watching on X. If you're watching on X, do me a solid. Come on over to YouTube. We want to have this show running Monday through Friday instead of Monday, Thursday, Friday. So to make that happen, you guys, I need you to come to YouTube, hit that like button, comment below this video with what you're liking in Thursday Night Football, what you're liking on the Diamonds kicking off tomorrow. The World Series is here. What you're liking in the NBA, what you're liking in the NHL. We're going to recap all of these handicappers' best bets. Don't forget, for the rest of 2025, you can get the handicappers of Picks and Parlays best bets for just $8.30 a day. So you're buying the rest of the year packages, you guys. These are great packages, long-term packages that you want to make sure that you're in on for just $8.30 a day. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a Starbucks drinker. That is less than my Starbucks drink if I get cold foam on it. If I get no cold foam, just a little bit more. But you guys, let's talk what these guys are liking today as well as what I'm liking. Fade or follow those Madden plays. Let me know where you're going to go. Jesse in the NFL is going to go Thursday Night Football, the Minnesota Vikings plus the 3.5. He's going to go with Jordan Mason for the anytime touchdown at plus 120. Justin Herbert to throw that interception at plus 100. Dre is going to roll with the over 44.5. So they do have that in common. Justin Herbert under the 35.5 pass attempts, and Justin Jefferson over 5.5 receptions. When Dan looks at Thursday Night Football, he likes the over 44.5 as well. And so it looks like we got a consensus on those overs. Everyone rolling with the over, including myself. Fade or follow that total, you guys. All four of us liking the over 44.5. I've, though, got the Chargers. Jesse and I are head-to-head in this one. I got the Chargers minus 3.5. Let me know who's going to come out on top of this one. Remember, Dan did say he thinks the Chargers win, the Vikings cover, and we did hear Dre say he leans towards the Vikings plus the points here on a short week. I've got Carson Wentz for the passing yards over 230.5, Justin Herbert for passing yards over 255.5, and I've got Justin Jefferson, Quentin Johnson, and Justin Herbert for those anytime tutties. When we look at the NBA today, Dre is rolling with the Nuggets on the money line versus the Warriors. That's coming in at plus 112, you guys. Jokic over 8.5 assists, and Steph Curry over 23.5 points for the Golden State Warriors out there. He does have Friday football, but before we do that, we'll look at the ice. Dan rolling with the Carolina Hurricanes and the Colorado Avalanche over the over 5.5 goals. 55 goals would be insane out there on the ice. Over 5.5 goals in this game at minus 134. And then your early look on college football for tomorrow night. Dre rolling with California plus the 5.5 versus Virginia Tech with a sprinkle on the money line. Not even going to try to pronounce this quarterback's name. Dre absolutely nailed it. I'm going to call in JKS over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Great bet there. And Dan Kaiser rolling with the series here for the LA Dodgers, laying the 1.5 in this series, expecting them to finish it off quick here versus the Toronto Blue Jays. But we're going to be talking more MLB tomorrow. We're going to be talking more weekend plays as well. You're rolling with the Joker 30 plus and 5L6 versus GS plus 5. Okay. All the best. You guys, it's going to be a great day of sports out there. I appreciate each and every single one of you for being here today on All-Jo Madden. We're running right on that 1 hour mark, you guys. hit that like button, hit that notification button so you know when these do go live. And don't miss out on all the free videos here on YouTube. Check them out. I've got my free video out. Jesse's got his. There's so much going on here on YouTube you don't want to miss out on. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Subscribe to the channel as well. You guys, appreciate each and every single one of you for being here today. Until next time, tomorrow, we'll be here at 1 p.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern. Stay hot.